Hello and welcome in, everybody. I'll get my camera on in just a moment. Of course, something happened right before the live, and I had to have my camera off. So welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. Feels like I just saw you. Kind of did. Just saw you a little bit ago. It is the 7th of August already. Can you guys believe that? Already the 7th. Man, summer's going to be like almost over. I don't like that. Next month. We have like one more month. So soak in the summer sun while you can, because we're going to go all in here for winter. We'll be all together, all in here is bundled in. But welcome into the chat if you're new here. My name is Tanya. We do talk all things true crime. So if that's something that you're into, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all the things we ask you to do at the beginning of the live. I do appreciate you guys being here tonight. You could be anywhere else that you want to be, but you're here with me. You're here with us. So I appreciate that. And hey, Cheryl. Hey, Ashley. Welcome in. Hey, DM. Hey, Ladybug. I saw we had some people in here tonight. Mary Beth. Well, we usually have our usual crowd, but hey, Pooh Bear. Hey, Pandan. I saw that you had an anniversary. I have to go down. There it is. I have to go down. I'll say. There it is. Well, there it is. I just took it back off. 4 months. How you doing? How you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you doing good? I hope you are. Hey, Lenora. Nashville native. You shortened your name. There we go. She shortened it. There was another letter in there. There was another word. Because I was talking about you earlier. We were talking about our friend from last night. And we were talking about how people were sending in super chats to make up for it. I thought it was funny. You were stuffing your face while you pack. Oh, are you here, Ashley? Welcome in if you are. And welcome in, everybody. Hey, Catherine with a K, Catherine with a C. I don't know if Catherine with a K is in here. I haven't seen her yet. But I'm just going to say she is. Faith. Welcome in, ALR. Welcome in, everybody. Let me get down to the bottom here. If I didn't say hi to you, I'm sure I will say hi before the end of the live. Hey, Juno. Hey, Clue Season. Hey, Renee. My eyes are burning tonight. Hey, One Shot. Sorry about that. Hey, Miss Rosebud. I'm going to put my glasses on. I usually don't have a problem with my eyes, but they are burning. No way. She's over there is she really trying to get like a GoFundMe going? Because she does have to go to court tomorrow. Looking forward to that. That puts me back in a chipper mood. My eyes were kind of burning there for a minute, but I'm good. Oh, the 19th in kindergarten. Oh, Lenora, that sounds like fun. Oh, make sure that you send me a picture. I want to see the first day of kindergarten. I love first day school. Like school photos are my favorite. Like I'll get on Facebook just to look at those and then I'll jump back off. You know what I mean? I love me some back to school kids. That's the best part of like the whole year. Like, you know what I mean? Having to go to school was the first day back because you like learn the rules of the class and you got to look cute for the girls anyway. The girls were, worried about probably more than the guys. But, the guys got to see the pretty girls. You mean BHB Kim said, yeah. Is it kimchi? I like that kimchi. Hey, Andy. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. A GoFundMe for court. Yep. Man, Roxanne. I said I was going to start me like a GoFundMe for something like ridiculous. Like, so I got to think of something so ridiculous that nobody would actually think it's real, because I don't want anyone to actually give me money. But I just thought it would be fun. Just like kind of funny. Just to, do one. It might be this fan. That might be what's doing it to my eyes. But we have some things to talk about tonight. Last night on our live, we talked about how Seth and Tony were going to do a interview with Vinnie Politan on Court TV, and they ended up doing it, and they released it today. So we'll be able to watch that. 10,000. Wow. Kyle, that's funny. Speaking of which, I haven't seen Aries in here. I don't know why that reminded me of something that Aries would say. Hey, J-Dub. I think she's going to avoid court until her protest, maybe in hopes of being arrested while live and go viral. Oh, man. She would do something like that. I'm surprised she really wasn't arrested last time, or the time before, or the time before that, or the time before that. Sunburn. Oh, it was nice here today. It was really nice. Did you guys see? I was out at the pool. I did like a little video short. I went to go record myself on my video and my camera fell over. It just happened to make a cute video though, so I kept it. Thank you, Roxanne. I'm going to put that towards a fund. I'm going to buy something. I'm going to show you. I'll go fund because you are you. Thank you so much for the 999 super sticker. I appreciate that. I really do. And you'll see me with something. That's the type I am. I'll be like, okay, Remember one time I think it was like this is like when I first started YouTube, like my little mini fridge broke on me, and I had like one of those like little ones, and I would put like my sodas in there. So then I'd have to stop the live and go grab my sodas. Now I just have Vincent usually put them at the door. My new one though, everyone chipped in, and I got a new one. It was like I think there was like 25 or 30 bucks for it. That little sucker lasted forever, and it finally broke on me. So I'm gonna take that money. I'm gonna put it towards a new fridge, a little mini fridge. Hey, Celestial Sky. That's what I'm going to do. Hey, is it Demetrius? Demetrius? I mean, I'm saying that wrong. I'm putting way too many letters in there. Damaris? Okay, you're going to tell me. Spell that one out for me. I'm bad with names. I'm even worse with ages, so. Hey, T-Dub. Welcome in. So we have some things to talk about tonight. I haven't watched the whole interview with Vinnie Politan. I wanted to save that and watch it with you guys, because sometimes when you watch, sometimes you have to have your reaction to those. Now, I was looking on the YouTube pages or Facebook pages, sorry, not YouTube, Facebook pages, and I saw that Betty is wilding out. She's gone off the handles. She's over there saying that, JLR is a woman abuser. She's saying all the things over there on Facebook, and all underneath of a missing child's case. Like, this is all underneath, you know what I mean? Like, get your shit together, Betty. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Like, this is a kid. You know what I mean? Like, really. Pet rock surgery. I love that, Heather Bratt. That's what I needed. See, that's what I needed. Something like that. My pet rock. Because I want people to think about it for a minute, but then be like, wait a minute. But you know what? People would probably think I have a pet rock and that it needs surgery. It's on her community page. Oh my gosh, Candy Wrapper. I didn't even go over there. So she has it on her community page where she has 33,000 people that, can have access to that or whatever. And then she does Facebook. She is so petty. Petty. She definitely is graduated from Petty University at this point in time. We need to send her a sweatshirt. We need to send her like a care package or something, maybe like a little card. We said we're going to send her a therapy card, like with money on it. Like, therapy is like $150 an hour. I mean, we might have to get her like the bottom therapy, but I thought we could send her a therapy card. I mean, she's really lost it over JLR. I mean, and I can't be too, I mean, if she saw something there, I think she saw something that just wasn't there. You know what I mean? That he didn't see, but she saw it. If she, in her mind, really genuinely thought that her and JLR had something together and they were going to ride off into the sunset together, then that's sad, because she's probably really heartbroken. Yeah, Roxanne, like really heartbroken. Like, imagine, I mean, I don't want to say this because I'm not trying to be mean. I'm thinking about if I was in that position, if I was in her position, being older and thinking that you have that person and then you don't have that person. I don't know. I'm just glad she has a house and a dog, I'm just glad she has a house and a dog. Maybe we get her weighted blanket one shot. That's a good idea. I need a weighted blanket myself. Is it a competition thing? It could be Majestic Blue. I think it could be turned into one. And JLR is good at what he does. I mean, he's been good at this since he's been doing it. I mean, even when he was like suing people, he was good at suing people. I mean, he was suing 150 people or something. He knows how to file paperwork. I can give him that, I can give him that. No, I just have a PayPal. Did you ask if I have one? I just have a PayPal. I need to get a Cash App, but that's what most people have now, but I just have PayPal. I think it's under this thing. Underneath that, like, since I'm the mod tonight. And thank you guys whenever you guys make if I don't say it on the live, I usually try to the next live. If you ever like donate, if you donate and then I don't see it throughout the live, say, hey, I donated your PayPal, Tanya. That way I know, because sometimes I have like 3 PayPals right now. I don't know how I got that many, but I do. Because I have a business, so that has one. You don't do PayPal? So he's not gay. Oh yeah, microgiving. That's another thing too. So yeah, that's another thing that's going around is Chris is gay. So that's another thing. Did you hear that? I don't know about JLR, but I heard that we've been hearing that Chris is gay. That's going around. I don't think he'd be married 5 times if he was gay. I mean, maybe it's a front, but why after the second wife or the third wife or the fourth wife or the fifth wife, you know? Oh, thanks, J-Dub. Thank you for the $10. I'm going to get me a little fridge. Best believe that. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget because I'm going to look for one tonight. I'm going to get me a little mini fridge. Oh, speaking of which, I've been speaking of something I have to tell you. I'm going to write that down so I don't remember. Did you hear that though? Did you hear about them saying that he was, there's people are going, saying that Chris is gay. I was just like, what? When I heard that, I was just like, are you guys kidding me? Like, I've heard it all. I've heard it all. I heard it on another live. I didn't hear it on the live because I didn't watch the live, but I heard it and I saw the screenshots of it in the chat and I was like, wow, guys. Thank you, Mary Beth, for 5 gifted memberships. You guys are doing it up tonight. Look at that. You guys are making me blush. Thank you. Thank you, guys. If you got a membership, make sure you tell Mary Beth, thank you. You thought JLR? I thought he was too. I thought JLR was at first. No hate on him. I just thought it was. But Chris, apparently he's, they're going around saying he's. I heard that. Actually, I heard it in 2 lives today. And the second live, I thought I wrote it in it, but I didn't send it. So then it was like too late to send, you know. But I was just like, oh my gosh, are you guys kidding me right now? Like saying that, you know, Chris is going to come out and he'll end up saying he's gay and that, I don't know. I didn't hear all of it. I'm just like, I didn't want to hear it. It was one of those ones I was like, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Look at that. One shot. Thank you. I'm going to get that fridge. Thank you. Thanks for the $10. Tax on the fridge. I'm going to get me the big fridge. Forget that little mini one. I need I need the size up now because I like to put my makeup products in it too. Mary Beth, thank you. Now I'm not even going to ever get started if you guys keep on gifting and giving me money like that. I'm going to stay here all night. I'm just kidding. We'll get started. But I do have something new to tell you guys, and maybe you guys can help me with it as well. I think I remember maybe, and remind me, because this case has been going on since the end of February. Do you guys remember if Stephen Crabtree put out a picture of a sonar? Because I do remember Narc Divers. Do you remember them doing that video saying, like, talking about how I would read a sonar? Now it's clicking for me. Okay, things are clicking in my head. Thank you, ALR. Thank you for the $4.99. That's so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are so nice. I think this is the most gifts I've ever had in a row. Wow. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you. Yeah, J-Dub. And you know what? I think till like we have like tax-free week going on. It's like, it's going on for like 2 weeks this year. It's crazy. I'm like, why is it going on so long? It's usually just tax-free weekend, but I think it's like the whole week. Mary Beth, thank you. Thank you, guys. I think he's doing a pretty good job down there. So I'm thinking maybe, okay, so things are clicking in my head now. Of course they are. Okay, so Narc Divers a couple weeks ago came out with a video, and I thought it was right after Tony and Seth did the video with the news where they're on the boat. And I assumed that Narc Divers was talking about Tony Mathis. And maybe he still is. Maybe he was. But maybe he was talking about Stephen Crabtree. Because I'm going to show you a video tonight. And Stephen says in the video, like, I know how to read Sonar. And so I don't know if it's just somebody that's been in his comment section and was like, and said something like, you don't know how to even read Sonar, or if it was from this video, or if Seth or Tony said this, because he does talk and bring up Tony. He calls him Tick Tiny Tony or something. I forget, but he calls him the name, and it's pretty entertaining. So I think that what happened was Stephen put a image out there, or had an image and said this could, or something about if. He didn't know if this was something. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't anything. But I guess Tony took that and then ran with it. I don't know. We're gonna hear this video from Stephen. He's gonna tell us exactly what he feels about what's going on because he's getting pretty mad, you know. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Catherine. They're here too. My co-hosts are here. We got one back there. She passed out. We got one down here. Oh, she's passed out. Thank you so much. So I do think that Stephen has a good heart. I do. I think the kid has a good heart. I think it's just, there's just so many people that are bad in this case that it's easy to get caught up into something. And I think that's what happened in the beginning when he was telling the little fibs that came out. Well, they weren't really little, but you know, the little bit of the lies that were coming out in the beginning. I think he was just embellishing things a little bit. And then Tony, I think, was taking it and making it even bigger. I personally do. That's what I personally think. Because I think at first Stephen wasn't very, I don't think he could talk. He felt like he could talk back, like, or, you know, stand up for himself in a way. And now I feel like he does and he can. But he put this video out and I just thought it was pretty interesting. So we will watch it. Dreamcatcher, thank you so much. Thank you for the $10. That's so sweet. I'm going to get me that nice fridge now. You best believe it. Vince will be like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'll be like, I'm going to get a fridge. Going to get a fridge. Put it right over here. Okay, so we'll play this video. It's like 7 minutes. It's from Stephen Crabtree. And then we'll move on to Vinnie Politan's. He's doing these investigates. So Vinnie Politan investigates, and it's like these different interviews. So this one that we're going to watch tonight is going to be Seth and Tony. And then tomorrow or the following evening, we'll do the ones from the Idaho 4 families. I think it's just Christy and Steve Gonzalez that's on it. And he did one for them. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for everything.
I'm going to show y'all something, man. Normally, I don't even put this out there, but this is where it's really got me because I got told I faked that image. I've done this. I've done blah, blah, blah.
So the image, I think, is that might be that Sonar image. I think that I'm thinking I saw a Sonar image. And that's why I'm asking maybe if you guys saw it. Because for some reason, I feel like I remember seeing it and not even bringing it up to like bringing it over here. Like there's some things I'll see online. I don't even bring up, like, a lot of things, like, because it's just so, you know, like ridiculously not right. So I'm thinking maybe I did see something about a Sonar image. I'm gonna try to look it up a little bit while we're watching.
And it's just, it's crazy to me.
Because I did look on the Facebook pages and I didn't see it on there.
Because you got teeny tiny TikTok Tony running his mouth, you know. He's the one that put the words in my mouth about the video. I made one crucial mistake in that wording, which was the if. That's where I messed up. I apologize for it. But also, Tony doesn't tell you that the phone call that happened, you know, after I left there was a phone call that Seth wasn't involved with, that he said, it's safe to assume, right? Hear what I'm saying? It's safe to assume. Or the next day when shit hit the fan, he calls me cussing me. But yet I said, hey, man, you're recorded. And he tries to backtrack his statements. I'm over all this, man. I'm not doing this to gain fame, notoriety, anything like that. I talk about what I care about and what I'm passionate about. What I'm passionate about is Sebastian. He's missing. He still ain't been found. And I could contribute by getting out here when I have nothing else to do, like sit at home and be a keyboard warrior. Instead, I get involved. I'm going to show y'all what Panoptics looks like when you see trees and what they look like. And I'm in the same area. So what you see right here is the hillside.
And I do appreciate this because I don't know anything about Sonar. So I was like ready for the lesson.
See that? Now, let's go up. We're going to find some trees, guys. Now, they're all up and down this area. The little blobs you see, those are fish. Don't get alarmed. Nothing big. You can see where the fish are coming in and off. Now, look at the tree branches right here. Oh, my God. That is what tree branches look like. Brush piles, stuff like that.
That's probably what it was.
I'm pointing right over there. You don't see it on top, but see the tree branches. Again, they're all through this area right here. Tree branches, big mound, big boulder rock right there. That's what I was talking about. tree branches. Again, you can see fish swimming real time. All that stuff. Another tree branch. It's probably a rock area with fish hanging off of it. Now, see how wide this is? Let's do that. Now I'm going to see going on over there. Oh, man. Crazy how that works.
So how do I need to know more about these. I don't know how these work. So this is like a fish finder, right? Like Sonar is Sonar and a fish finder the same thing? Or is Sonar more intense than like a fish finder would be? Because Garmin makes like fish finders, right? Is that what they're called? I don't even know if that's what they're called, but you can hear turkeys. Roxanne can hear turkeys. Naomi, I think you're absolutely right. In my opinion, Naomi said, Seth, get rid of Tony, the thief, BHB, the bully, and liar drama queen, all about the money. It's sad, but everyone is not believing anyone. Yeah, I know. We've gotten to a point where we're side-eyeing everything that we're side-eyeing. We're like, I'm over here second guessing if I saw something or not. But I think you're right. I think it was on maybe Nick Bears' site. But we might have brought it up then. If it was on Nick's, I'm going to check.
Well, that works. How you can see the fish real time. But I don't know how to read this, right? I don't know what I'm doing.
Like, I'm assuming if it was right on the surface anyway, a fish finder would find, it would find something that was like a mass, you know what I mean, of something. So
I have no idea. I'm sorry, guys. At the end of the day, I'm out here. I'm trying to do my part. I never meant for anything ever to go wrong, and I've always been big about speaking up when I made mistakes. I've also been big about, hey man, separating myself from an individual who I think is he's honestly just a curse. He has no morals. He stands behind a keyboard and women pushing his, general thoughts out, but yet doesn't have the balls enough to pick up the phone, as he would say. What I'm going to tell you is I waited 2 weeks before putting that out. And I've said that several times. I never got an answer. I sat there, sleepless nights. My wife will tell you. I laid there trying to figure everything out. And I couldn't. Didn't understand. It's the fact that, I've got screenshots upon screenshots of where Tony's controlling the narrative behind the background. And at the end of the day, it's ridiculous to me. I begged my brother to come out here. And, he likes to fish, man. That's what he does. Gives me company, especially the last couple of weeks doing this, because I had no answers, man. And I damn sure just didn't want to be out here by myself. It's crazy to me that I do this day in and day out, and I get nothing but hate and rhetoric for whatever reason. And it's ridiculous, man. Because at the end of the day, what has he done? He's not a spokesperson. Spokespeople don't do what he does. And he wants to talk about apologize. The last thing I want to say, I need to apologize for putting this out. Seth had that image before anybody had that image. Boom. Because of one person that was on a video with me that day.
Who was that?
We were talking FaceTime. I got upset when she sent it to him. You can ask her that. Why would you do that?
I don't know who that was. That the psychic lady that he was going to team up with? I can't remember her name, but we could always go back to his page, because there was a lady that he was supposed to meet up with, and she did like tarot readings or something. Now, the last time she's still in our life, the tarot reader from the Idaho 4 case. We update. She's representing herself. Update. She's trying to still fight it. She's been found guilty, and she's still trying to fight things. So I think he seems genuine. I think that in the beginning of this case, when he came out and he had like the 3 lies or whatever they were, I don't even know if they're necessarily from him. Maybe he said something and Tony kind of like took off with things. Because I know him and Tony were talking a lot in the beginning, and I do believe that Tony is the main cause of a lot of the problems in this case. And I think that we can all agree on that. I really don't think there's anybody other than Tony on the internet, including his wife, that wants Tony to stay on the internet. There's nobody other than Tony. He's the only one that wants Tony on the internet. You look you look at his follower count, you know, on TikTok, he has 44 followers. Nothing against that, but he had to hijack Caleb Harris's page that had 10.9. It's down to 10.6. I'm glad that people are, you know, seeing that for what it's worth, but you know, it's just crazy.
I waited before ever putting that out. The second thing I'll say is you say apologize for, you know, hurting them.
And apparently whoever the girl was that saw it, I don't know who that would have been exactly, but whoever saw it and did that to Steven should be the one apologizing, not necessarily Steven.
Blah, blah, blah. One, go look at the videos I put. Never mention that it was him or say that. I said, I don't know. I don't know. But I know what I'm seeing doesn't look like to be a tree. What I will tell you is that the many times that I've come on here and I've talked about things I care about, I generally try to keep some things out of the public. Always have, because 99% of the things you do see in this water, nothing. They are branches. They're boxes. They're from a flooded town. And yet, you know, Tony has yet to contribute what? By going to the news and misspeaking and then having to get it corrected the next morning. You know, they're cited, right? This. I do apologize to Chris, Katie, and Seth. But I'm looking for answers, man. I'm not on at 2 a.m. in the morning with a bunch of women theorizing about how Chris and Katie did it. I also scaled back my opinions on how I felt about Chris and Katie because, truthfully, I don't know anymore. I don't know. None of us do. But it's okay for you to go in there and dog the shit out of them. But I need to apologize. Right. What I would tell you, man, is you're a nuisance. I think you're a crime sleuth. And I think you're somebody that interjects yourself into things that you shouldn't be in. And it's all about, oh, I'm a spokesperson. No, man, you've done this twice. And honestly, both times you miserably fail. You can bring up all my past. You can do all of that stuff, man. I've talked about it. I'm proud of who I am today. And I love myself. Obviously, something you don't. And it's clearly seen because you're dragging other people down. See, it wasn't about ever defending Seth, was it? Like you said it was. In these group texts where you're like, we need to go after Illuminati and Salty Lunatic and Barbecue and all these people. It's never been about that. It's been because these people question you.
He done is letting the cat out of the bag.
Injects yourself into things that you shouldn't be in. And it's all about, oh, I'm a spokesperson. No, man, you've done this twice. And honestly, both times you miserably fail. You can bring up all my past. You can do all of that stuff, man. I've talked about it. I'm proud of who I am today. And I love myself. Obviously, something you don't. And it's clearly seen because you're dragging other people down. See, it wasn't about ever defending Seth, was it? Like you said it was. In these group texts where you're like, we need to go after Illuminati and Salty Lunatic and Barbecue and all these people. It's never been about that.
Wow.
It's been because these people question you. That's the problem.
Wow.
I'm going to show y'all something, man. Normally, I don't.
Thank you, Naomi. You're right. Yeah. Naomi said, I'm pretty much over this. It's sad but true. Seth, you're the worst enemy to this case. Get rid of the negative. Go back and think. Yeah. Just everyone needs to take a step back. To reevaluate. Wow. There's a lot of things that are going on in this video. But at the end of the day, I mean, Steven is out there. He is out there searching, and his brother's out there helping him, which I think that's really nice. I think that's really nice of his brother to go out and fish while he's out there, you know, searching. Because if Steven were, let's say he were to come across anything, you know, I wouldn't want him to be by himself at that moment. You know, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, you know. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But he is out there. He's looking. He's, you know, still is he in the Cumberland? I think that's where he's at. He was in the Cumberland. But he does do his TikToks. I'll put this video link in that's a really long video link. Let me see if I can get you the actual, like, his channel name. I wish we could see if what's her name was live, but Cajun, but I don't think I can see on this profile. She blocked me. But this is for Stevens. If anyone wants to go and follow Stephen Crabtree over on, he's on TikTok. He's not on YouTube. But I'm going to keep searching for that image too. I'm in the second Sebastian Rogers group that I'm in, and I just still don't see it in that one. So maybe they deleted it. I'm talking about like the Sonar image that Stephen had supposedly had, and that was put out. That was a tree branch or something. That's what I'm looking for. If anyone knows where it's at, let me know, and I'll grab it. Wait, is this it? No, it's not. Okay. So we'll go over here and we'll listen to Vinnie Politan. He is going to talk about the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. He's going to go over the whole case. There's not a whole lot to the case. I mean, there's a whole lot to this case, but he's going to go over just what the mainstream media really knows and deals with. And he's going to talk to Seth and he's going to talk to Tony. So let's see how this goes. And don't forget to hit the like button, please. And thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. Mary Beth, did you gift out memberships again? I didn't even see it. You did? You gifted out 10 memberships, Mary Beth. Thank you. You're so kind. You guys are so kind. Look at you guys. Naomi's gifting out memberships. I'm about to give some memberships. Let me go over to the screen so I don't forget. I did that the other night. I forgot. I didn't want to forget.
I'm Vinnie Politan. The subject of my investigation is an awesome 15-year-old boy from Tennessee. His name is Sebastian Rogers. He's a child with autism, and he is missing. Now, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered in this case. Here's more of Sebastian's story.
Inside this beautiful neighborhood in Hendersonville, Tennessee, there is an unsolved mystery. It was a Sunday night going into a Monday morning, and 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was supposed to be inside his home sleeping. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, says he went to bed at 9, but was making some noise around 10, including a thud sound. Katie told him to go to sleep. She went to bed at midnight. Then at 6 a.m., Katie woke up. She went to his room to get him ready for school, but Sebastian was gone. She searched the house, and he was nowhere to be found. Sebastian's stepdad, Chris Proudfoot, was not home, and Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, was at work about 45 minutes away. Police responded and began trying to figure out what happened. That was February 26, 2024. And as the days, weeks, and months have passed, still no sign of Sebastian, no sign of foul play, and no answers about what happened. Did someone harm Sebastian, or did he just walk away? We're searching for answers as we investigate the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers.
From the beginning, this case has not made a lot of sense because of the lack of evidence, the lack of leads. I want you to take a look, though, at the original Amber Alert in this case, because I think it's significant. The Amber Alert went out, issued on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian is a 15-year-old white male, 5'5" tall, 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Sebastian was last seen on February 26th, 2024, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. February 26th. That's the last time he has been seen. So what's going on right now? You know, we profile missing children all the time, every night. So my question right now is anyone still searching for Sebastian? Let me bring in my special guest, someone I know is still searching. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, is with us, and also joining us, the Rogers family spokesperson, Tony Mathis. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and the opportunity to speak about Sebastian. Seth, let me begin with you.
I wanted to interrupt it before it really got started. Thank you, J-Dub. Oh, thank you. Gifted out 5 more memberships. Everyone's going to be a member in here tonight. turn the memberships on. I'm telling you what, everyone's going to be a member. Everybody. Thank you, Andy. It was on Nick Beers' Facebook. And I don't know why. Did we? I don't even remember us going over this at all. We didn't. I don't think. So we're going to go over it really quick before, Seth starts the interview, because I didn't want to like interrupt it through the interview to show you guys this, because, but this is the Sonar image that was seen. That was, now, if someone were to show me that, that doesn't look like anything to me. But Nick Beers, Nick, you got to stop doing this. You got to stop. You got to stop. Buddy, you got to stop. You cannot be doing these kind of clickbaity things. Could this be Sebastian Rogers? We know you don't know because you don't know how to read Sonar, right? I don't know how to read it either. But I would never put this on my page and be like, is this Sebastian? Like, how do you even know it's from the area, really? Really? These people that sent it to you, I mean, are these your friends, or are these just fellow Facebookers? Like, come on, Nick, who is it that's giving these to you? Because he says, several of you have shared this Sonar image with me, apparently taken by someone on Old Hickory Lake. Now, I'm going to say that he's in one of these Facebook pages, and that's where he saw the image. I'm just going to say it. 15-year-old Sebastian disappeared from Hendersonville, Tennessee, home nearly 6 months ago. This image was shared with Sumner County investigators on the case. Have they looked into it? Yes. Then is it him? If they've looked into it, we would know, Nick. I checked, and authorities say they checked out the area with both dogs and sonar and determined the image is a submerged tree, not a human body. But they appreciate the tip and continue to follow up on any potential new leads. See it, but in the beginning, he says, could this be Sebastian? But it wasn't. But I had to read your whole stinking article to know the answer to that. That's what I try not to do to you here on this channel. Try not to do that to you guys, man, because it gets me going. But yeah, it looks like the Statue of Liberty, if anything. That's what I see in there. Does anybody else see the Statue of Liberty with like the hand up with the flames, kind of like on the top of the torch? Maybe. Let me get my chat back down there. Okay. Ladybug, there's a lot of new members. Thank you guys all for being here too. But that looks like Statue of Liberty to me. If I had to say, I see it. Yeah, it looks like the statue. Did someone? No, they didn't. It's a tree, but they went and looked. But you know what I mean? I could see someone being weird, like, and putting like people can do things with cameras now. But they went and they looked. They checked it out. And that's good that the cops are doing their due diligence and they're going out and they're checking. Investigators are so. But that's the submerged tree.
Is anyone still searching for your missing son?
I am. I have a private investigator.
I'm just going to say, sorry, Terry Lynn. That's been out there every day. Apparently, we hear that all the time, that you've been out there every day searching. Guess he didn't mention you.
Is still working on it. She conducts her searches in private. She has her own volunteer base. We're not going to stop until we find it.
Let me ask you this, Seth. Outside of what you are doing, is this search still active? Let's talk about law enforcement.
From my understanding, law enforcement is still searching. They're doing it privately as well. They're checking in on tips when they come in. If we get tips, we pass them on to them. Same time we get them.
And how is that part going with tips? Are people still providing information when they come across things? And what are your thoughts about?
We still get information. I mean, we still get emails every day. We have a tip site that is up. A PI put that up. It's a valid tip site for anybody who wants to email or call.
Don't call that tip site, please, for the love of everything. Don't call it. Call Sumner County. Call TBI, 1-800-TBI find. But we already know what happens when you call their tip line. If you don't know, I'll tell you real quick. They give you more tips than you give them. And they give you false tips. They just talk crap about Katie and Chris the whole time, pretty much, on the phone call.
Be anonymous or whatnot.
And I'm pretty sure that they won't answer the phone if you hit *67, so it's not anonymous. No, they know your number. They know your number. You don't know theirs, though, because that's a Google Voice number.
Tony, I wanted to bring you in the conversation. This is a difficult situation. And I understand the onslaught of public attention that this has gotten. And sometimes that's a big positive in keeping Sebastian's face in the public and getting people to know who he is and think about him. And if they see something, hopefully say something. But obviously there can be downsides as well. How is all of this publicity, from your perspective, impacting the search for Sebastian?
Well, we don't really believe that any of the media attention, social media attention, any of that is really going to impact what law enforcement is doing one way.
I call that Tony's new bedroom. His wife put the pot on the bed. Like the bathing thing. It's like if you're bathing, if you're going to bathe, like back in the 1900s or 1800s, I don't even know, when you would bathe in like the pot with the little handle, the milk pot.
Or another. It does impact the father, that I represent, Seth. We thank all the creators out there that continue to keep Sebastian's name out and do it in a positive way. Our message to most of the media attention, more social media than mainstream, is that, we ask that you cover the case in a positive way. If you choose not to do that and back away, that's okay too. But any positive support that we can get for Seth while he's looking for his son is a big deal for us.
And Seth, I know that during the course of all of this, there have been some potential leads that became very public, including a photograph of someone who seemed to resemble Sebastian at a rest stop in, I believe, North Carolina. How are you holding up through all of this? And where's your level of optimism right now?
Oh, man. The shirt says optimism, and he had to say the word.
I have faith. I have hope. Sebastian's alive. We just got to find him. There is nothing else. Just finding Sebastian.
Tony, I wanted to get you in on
his little patch. Looks like it's gone off his neck, so that's good.
This as well, in terms of the.
Thank God.
As a family.
Thank God Tony's not wearing that ugly green shirt he wears every interview, but he just changed it with a blue one. It's the same damn shirt, y'all, but in blue. It's the same shirt. I do that. I'm not gonna say there's anything wrong with it, but I've just seen it too much.
Family spokesperson.
He's wearing the same shirt but in a different color.
Do you feel that
he's doing this on purpose?
Still the same level of, I guess, commitment from everyone, the community, law enforcement, media, to make sure that anything and everything is done to find this missing child?
The same damn shirt. I'll be damned.
Well, Vinnie, I think that it's our job to keep his name out there in the community. All of our job on Seth's team, and of course I represent just Seth. It's all of our jobs on his team to keep the community engaged. We continue to have events, have vigils, have gatherings, keep his name out there. The media, mainstream media, such as yourself and many others, have been very good and very helpful. It's very easy to get interviews. If Seth feels up to doing an interview, I think the X factor for us is law enforcement. I think that the communication, it's been a bit lacking, at least as far as Seth and I are concerned. You know, we don't really know what it is they're doing. We have faith. We heavily back the blue. Of course, you know, Seth is in law enforcement. I live in Oklahoma. We strongly back the blue in my community. But, you know, the question that I always ask that we still haven't got an answer to is, you know, just simply tell Seth, are you any closer today to figuring out what happened to Sebastian than you were on February 26th? And quite frankly, we feel like that's a very fair and logical question. We have not got an answer to that.
That has to be absolutely excruciating. By the way,
Tony, they probably don't take you seriously. I mean, dude, I can't take you seriously. I can't.
folks, as you watch, you'll see on the bottom of your screen numbers and places you can contact if you have any information. Seth, how are you holding up? I'm always concerned about you going through this. I've spoken with other parents through the years. I got a strong sense from them what it can be like. How are you holding up?
It's more like 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. You know, it doesn't really seem like it's been 5 months. It's just you lose track of time. I mean, all you're doing is thinking about the next place to go look, what the next thing needs to be done, and just trying to stay positive, trying to stay focused on finding my son and what's the next step to do.
What's been the biggest frustration for you so far in the search?
Not getting much in terms of information wise. The last thing that I was really informed of by the sheriff's office is they don't have anything stating that he left the house. And that's pretty much, you know, that's it. But obviously he's not there, or else we wouldn't be looking for him.
This is a little hope, but it was a lot smaller of a time period. But there was this guy, I don't know if you guys had heard about this, but he left his house and somehow he got stuck like in this roof of this house. It's not the story from the United States. It's from, I think, from the UK maybe. And he was stuck in there from like Monday to like Wednesday sometime, and the dog sniffed him out and finally got him. They got him out of there. Like they found him, but he was missing. I don't know. When I hear like things that like that, like, you know, dogs rescuing people, you know, they've been out for a while and, you know, the elements, I know it's not 6 months, but still out in the elements, and, you know, they find him. It just gives me hope that they will find Sebastian, you know, whether he's with us or he's not with us anymore. Either way, we need to bring him home. I mean, someone needs to find him, and he needs to be found. I couldn't imagine being one of the family members.
You know, there's no sightings. There's nothing.
There's nothing on this case.
Just one move. Things just don't make sense.
Now, maybe if Tony was a good spokesperson or like a friend, you know, maybe, I don't know how this would even go, but I know that Randy Harris is a really good person. And I know he has his faith is strong. And if I was Tony, because Tony can't do nothing to help none of these guys. He can't do nothing to help Randy, and he can't do nothing to help Seth. But what he could do is maybe team them up and let them talk as dads. And maybe that would make Seth feel a little better. Because I don't think talking to Tony is making Seth feel any better. I don't think talking to YouTube channels that sit there and, oh, rapper's back, sit there and like, I'll just put him in timeout for a minute. I don't think that, you know, being in creators chats to sit there and bash the Proudfoots every day, all day, nonstop is healthy. I just don't think it's healthy. It's going to tear you down. All that negativity around you, it makes people negative. It just does.
I mean, we're talking about,
a rapper
first of
now.
all,
I think
we're
I got
talking
him.
about a male child that left his house with nothing. a teenager that left the house with nothing. No phone, no switch, possibly no shoes, no backpack. I mean, completely unprepared.
Unprepared.
That's
No money.
Okay, hold on a
not how he
second.
leaves the house.
Back it up. When you were 15 years old, how many times did your parents tell you to put on a jacket? When you were 16 years old, 17 years old, 18 years old, me still at 19, I was living at home and my mom and dad were still telling me to put a jacket on. And when it was wintertime, I'm cool. I'll be fine. And I'd walk out of the house and I'd be freezing the whole night. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened here, but I'm just saying it's possible. It is possible. Because I wouldn't remember my stuff half the time. If it wasn't for Vincent, I wouldn't remember none of my stuff now. It's so bad. It's so bad. I remember the jacket now, but I forget the phone, the keys, the wallet, all of the rest. See, yeah, Nash Native, wasn't it? It was a thing because you couldn't mess up the outfit with a jacket. Even if the jacket went with the outfit, it didn't go with the outfit. It just didn't, I'm just saying, like, and I'm sure boys are the same way, run right out the door. You don't need a jacket. You're good. Running on, fumes. Like you're just hot blooded when you're that age. You don't, especially at 15, you don't feel the cold, I feel like.
House to go somewhere with me.
Yeah, possibly no shoes. I heard that too. Why is it possibly now? And someone put in the comment section today, and this, I was like, what? Remember Seth had bought him a new pair of shoes? Like they had bought him new shoes or something. Like he had bought him a new pair of boots. I don't know if Katie had bought him a new pair of like tennis shoes or anything like that. I just know that he bought him a new pair of boots. If Sebastian were to leave the house wearing new boots, right? Would his scent be left as much, if at all? Because he's in new shoes? Or does your scent, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know those things. You would think that it would have to come off of your feet somehow, right? Because someone put that in the comment section. I was like, that's a good comment. I can't remember which one of y'all was. Celestial Sky said, I'm still, damn, I was an old lady that still reminded me. That's funny. Being the boots from touching them. But I wonder, like, if you just put them on 1 or 2 times, if your scent is as strong, or if it's, I mean, I don't know those things. We need a scent person. I mean, because it's pretty interesting. It is really interesting to learn.
I don't expect him to leave anywhere without his phone and way of communication in case something happens.
Well, I didn't even know he had a phone for the longest time.
Sense.
It doesn't. Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis, stand by, stay with us. When we come back, we have another question to ask.
If he has a cell phone, he has the internet. No matter what parental code or parental lockdown they have on that phone, you know that he is a 15-year-old that can get into a phone. Anybody can get into a phone. You can even download another app and hide it into another app. Like
Tonight, was Sebastian's mom the last person to see him?
We are just trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It has not gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout at the beginning of the investigation. They have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them.
That's TBI talking about the case of missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. So parents are cooperating. Now, his situation, his parents aren't together anymore. So his mom, he has a stepfather, and he has a dad, and they were all in the same area when all of this was happening, the same general area. But I want to play you something, which was an interview that was done with Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot. Her and her husband sat down with the YouTube channel Chronicles of Olivia, and she explained the last time that she saw Sebastian.
I said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you. And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
Huh.
So, Sebastian,
I didn't know that, West. I really didn't. So, phone on the counter. Like, that sounds to me like you're walking out the door. I'm going to put your phone on the counter and you walk out the door. Why wouldn't your phone in your bedroom? Or maybe it couldn't be in his bedroom. Maybe he had a phone, had to be on the counter at night. I don't know, to charge, but it's weird.
went to bed. They're in the same house.
Because wherever
Different parts of
wherever I go, my phone goes normal. I mean, actually, I lie. I mean, I'll leave my phone like in the bedroom or something, but normally I have it with me.
the house. She heard a thud noise, but didn't go to see him. But what was going on with that alleged thud noise, and who was with him? Was there anyone with him at that moment? Or, bringing me to my next question, was Sebastian's mother the last person to see him? Was she the last one? Was there someone else that came to the house that night? Or is there some other story? Our guests are still with us. Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, and Tony Mathis, the family spokesperson. Seth, from your perspective, I know you've listened to every potential piece of information that's been available in this case, that's been made available. To me, that thud noise, I've always thought about that, what that could have been if it happened, right? What are your thoughts about Sebastian's mom? Do you believe she's the last person to see Sebastian before he disappeared?
I'd say yes. I mean, he was in her house. She's the one that put him to bed. She'd be the last person to have seen him.
What do you think?
Can we ask Seth, or maybe one of you guys in the chat can help me, because I don't know. I dated somebody that was a prison guard, and they don't work 12-hour shifts, but they work 8 hours. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But why is Seth working 12, 13 hours a day? Why is he working 60 hours a week? Why is he getting 20 hours in overtime? That makes no sense to me. I thought about it today. I put it on the community tab. I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Because remember, he was at work for 13 hours that day. He went in an hour early, was working on his car or something like that. I'm just curious, like what? Nobody wants to give you any overtime. I actually have it up on my phone right here. Sumner County. I was going to apply at the job, a correctional officer's annual salary, but it just doesn't say the hours. But you surely would not work 12-hour shifts. You're not a nurse. You're not doing three on, 4 off. Because someone was like, well, nurses do it. And I'm like, yeah, but nurses do 3 12s, and then they have 4 days off. So like that's what makes up for it. I'm just wondering. I mean, no reason. I mean, I don't think he did anything, but I'm just wondering why he's working all those hours. Mandatory overtime for slow staff, man. Because I dated a guy that was a prison guard, and he worked 8 hours. He would work like 10 hours altogether by the time he got there and got home. And we were like, I was like 20, I think, 21.
Think about that thud noise.
And we have roommates that were corrections officers as well. And they all worked different times, and they all had different days that they were off. And they all wanted these certain days. And it wasn't even the weekend they wanted off. They wanted off like Tuesday and Wednesday or something weird. It was like weird days.
That she described, the rustling that was going on. I thought about it. I've looked at the house. His room is on the first floor, right? So his window is accessible from the outside.
It would be, I believe, but I know law enforcement went around the house and stated that none of the windows or screens had been tampered with. So as for the thud, I mean, I don't know what she would classify as a thud.
Those windows are up pretty high. See how high those windows are? You see how high these windows are up? That's a pretty far little drop there. That's not like my windows where I grew up. Like ours were down a little further. I'm pretty sure. You didn't have to hop out. You just kind of. I got long legs. So does Sebastian though.
Just because I want to make sure he's okay. I mean, he's got a medical condition that would definitely mean I need to go check on him just to make sure he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And have you spoken with his mom about that night at all? Have you had any sort of conversation, either just the two of you or with other people there?
Have not had a conversation with her just alone, and probably won't.
Why is that?
Because every time I want to speak to her, I'm going to have to speak to Chris. Chris wasn't there. I don't know why he needs to be involved in a conversation about what happened that night. And if he was on a phone call, then maybe he can tell us what the thud was.
How about the rest of the day leading up to the point that Sebastian got home? Who was the last person other than his mom to see him? And have you spoken with that person?
No, I guess the last person to see him besides mom would be, the waitress at at Texas Roadhouse.
And Tony, as we try to track and figure out who interacted with Sebastian, where he could have gone, how this could have happened. From your perspective, what are the lingering questions that you see in this case as well?
Oh, Lordy, asking Tony for an opinion.
Well, if you're talking about that situation specifically, Vinny, I mean, clearly she was the last person that was seen with him. There has been no evidence that he ever left the house on his own. So in my mind, what would be the opposite of him leaving the house on his own? It would be leaving the house with somebody. Well, the only somebody, admittingly, by Katie, that was in that house was hers. So clearly we have some questions there. But my bigger question as Seth's spokesperson, and where I would ask Court TV to give us some assistance is, we have video evidence that shows that Seth was at work. We've had all of his electronic devices that have been seized and dumped. We'd like to know why Seth still hasn't been cleared, or what they might need from Seth and or myself to get him cleared. So
they have not cleared? I didn't realize that. I just didn't realize that was the situation.
Vinny's like, what? Wait, what? You haven't been cleared yet? That means you're a suspect? I'm talking to someone that could be he's a ex-prosecutor. His mind is going a million right now. It's like a hamster on a wheel, Like he just got a clue. He just got a clue. I'm going to rewind it back so you can hear it.
So not at all. So from Seth and evidence that shows that Seth was leaving the house with somebody. Well, the only somebody, admittingly, by Katie, that was in that house was hers. So clearly we have some questions there. But my bigger question as Seth's spokesperson, and where I would ask Court TV to give us some assistance is, we have video evidence that shows that Seth was at work. We've had all of his electronic devices that have been seized and dumped. We'd like to know why Seth still hasn't been cleared, or what they might need from Seth and or myself to get him cleared.
He's not cleared because maybe he hired someone to help him do it. There's other scenarios out there that the officers and investigators have to look at. They just have to. They just have to look at them. It takes time. And they're digging into Katie and Chris too. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that they've already dug, I'm sure, so far into those three's background. They probably have no secrets.
So they have not cleared. I didn't realize that. I just didn't realize that was the situation. So
gotta go.
So my guess is if they haven't cleared him, that may explain some of the lack of communication that is going back and forth in this case.
Meaning you might be a suspect, buddy. That's why they're not telling you. I'm just saying.
Good possibility. But what more do you want from me? I was at work. I was video camera from 6 p.m.
Should have kept your mouth shut.
After 7 a.m. the next morning. You know, my son should be with me right now. He should be in this house, and I should not be looking for him. Tell me where I don't gain anything from this. This is not funny. You know, the fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here. Y'all took my electronics. What more do you want? I mean, do they need my bank records? I mean,
yeah, probably.
You can have them.
Probably do need your financial records. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Seth. We would love that. We would love to see the financial records. I would.
I don't understand what I have to do to get cleared.
We're willing to
get
get cleared, Vinnie.
Go ahead, Tony.
There are resources.
Yeah, we're willing to do anything to work with them to get him cleared, because it does allow us to bring in more resources once he's clear. And you know, if the video evidence, the phone data, and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, you know, why is it that he hasn't been cleared? He did a polygraph test with a well-known FBI polygrapher that Nancy Grace set up, and he passed that with flying colors. So, you know,
we're out of time, unfortunately. Tony, I'm sorry I have to cut you off there. We're out of time, but thank you both.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't turn the music on. No, they didn't. No, they didn't, guys. No, they didn't. They didn't turn the music. That's like when you're accepting an award, you're like, you've talked too much at the academy, and they're like putting a commercial in. Oh my gosh, I haven't watched that. I haven't watched this yet. That's why I like watching these with you guys. Most of the time I watch the videos beforehand, but I knew this one was going to be a one I needed to see with you. He done put the music on.
For joining us. We'll still,
yeah, absolutely. Nancy Grace set up, and he passed that with flying colors. So, you know,
it was like right when he said Nancy Grace. It's a trigger word. It's a trigger word. They said no advertisement for Nancy. Nicole, you're right. That's what they said. Nancy, I'm about to get her out of the closet. Vinnie, I was going to get a Vinnie to go with Nancy. I'm like crying. I'm laughing so hard, guys. That's funny. I have not seen that happen to somebody in so long. I mean, literally, I've seen Ashley Banfield want to kick someone off her stage, like want to get off of that panel so bad. And I've never seen her do that. I've never even seen Nancy cut the music on someone.
You know, we're out of time, unfortunately. Tony, I'm sorry I have to cut you off there. We're out of time, but thank you both for joining us. We'll still look for those answers.
And we'll be back with 21 more minutes of a show
as the investigation continues.
I have to blow my nose. I was laughing so hard. Made my eyes water.
I'm Vinnie Politan. Our investigation into the disappearance of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers from his home in Tennessee continues. The circumstances surrounding this disappearance, though, really raise a lot of questions that need to be answered. Here's more of his story.
15-year-old Sebastian Rogers seemingly disappeared without a trace from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, where he was living with his mom and stepdad. His mom said he went to bed, and in the morning, he was nowhere to be found. Investigators reportedly have no suspects, no leads, and no evidence of what happened to Sebastian? How is that possible? And where is Sebastian?
This is a case that's been very short on evidence, but an audio recording has been circulating online that sounds like it could be a radio transmission from a canine handler during the search for Sebastian. Now, the speaker on this audio references several places near Sebastian's home, like the construction site, the cemetery, and the retention pond. The link to this audio file was uploaded to Twitter by SF Investigates, but it's unclear where the recording came from originally.
Nice big track back up.
This is the original audio
And
from the, from the body cam.
construction site over here back towards the beach. The one behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on. Hey, this is all dry, hard packed. Outside report. LT, we're now headed back south towards the cemetery on the far end of the construction site. Oh boy, I can see. I do have some footprints over here. Right there where you're standing? Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond. No shoes, just footprints. The shoes that Max went straight into the pond. He literally dove into it.
So if you've got the canines taking the handler somewhere, what exactly does that mean? It brings me to our next question in this investigation, which is, did Sebastian walk away? Did he walk away? Just leave home for whatever reason? To try to answer this question, let's bring in our experts, relationship trauma expert, psychotherapist, and CEO of Life Counseling Solutions, Dr. Janie Lacey is with me. Also joining me, former homicide detective and host of The Interview Room with Chris McDonough. Chris McDonough is with us as well. Great to see you both. Chris, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts about this recording and the thoughts of the canines and their handlers following some scent somewhere?
Well, first of all, Vinnie, the recording in of itself, and I was a dog handler from 1986 to 1989. And when a dog is on a track like that, you know, is she picking up the scent of the boy headed towards that pond? Is that a possibility? Absolutely. It could be a possibility. So the investigation then would have to shift into, the water resources in relationship to that pond to make sure they've checked that box.
Let me ask you, Dr. Janie Lacey, this is a 15-year-old child with autism. We're asking the question, did Sebastian walk away? How do you analyze that issue, knowing a little bit about Sebastian, not a whole lot, but we know he's a child with autism. He's able to do things. He goes to school. He's still a teenager, and he has those teenage issues as well. A little bit of friction at home with mom. What are your thoughts about the prospects and trying to figure out whether or not this child with autism at age 15 would simply walk away from home?
Well, my thoughts, Vinnie, would be we would want to collect as much past history as possible. So what was his normal habits? What were any circumstances where he would do things that would be out of his normal pattern? Who were the people who had the most access to him, and what would be some of their impressions, observations, if he tend to have normal habits, if he tend to have repetitive habits. So those would be some of the collection points that we would want to understand, the observations, what was his habits, what were the things that people reported that was any type of strange behavior, because we know that past behavior can predict future behavior. So we want to look at some of those kind of pieces to see if the possibility for him to just walk out of his home and to some of these areas would be likely based off of his past indications of behavior or past observations from those that had access to him.
All right, Chris, from your perspective, trying to put together pieces and trying to figure out, did he or did he not just simply walk away from his home? What are some of the things that you're looking for, and what are some of the things that have been revealed that would be significant in trying to answer that question?
Well, the first thing, Vinnie, is whenever a child goes missing, you have about 3 hours from a law enforcement perspective to react. And that means, shut the scene down, shut the house down, because, statistically across this country, there's what they call the victim risk continuum. And the lower the risk, the higher the probability that there was, some type of cross germination to either a suspect and or, a risk activity that put the child in jeopardy. Let's use Elizabeth Smart for an example. She's sleeping in her room. All of a sudden, she disappears out of her house. But her sister remembered that it could have been the handyman. This was months later. So that showed that the investigation stayed at the home. In this particular case, you have mom who says, I saw him go to bed. I heard a thump. I went to bed. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's gone. Well, children just don't vanish. So what are the probabilities, based on what the doc just said, that could be reality? So as an investigation, you want to start in the house. You want to start with everybody in the house, everybody related to the house, and then search the neighborhood. And you'll be surprised with today's technology how the circle gets smaller, smaller, and smaller. So those are a couple of things that I think this investigation started, and it looks like they did a pretty good job based on the filming that I've seen.
Now, Sebastian's dad joined the Pascal Show on YouTube and discussed what law enforcement's dog handlers told him about the search for Sebastian.
One dog followed a scent out into a construction site, and then it disappeared. Could you maybe expand on that or explain a little bit more about that?
One of the dog handlers told me first day,
wow,
Monday, that the dog popped to a trail and they followed it and went all the way around, and it ended in a construction site, but it ended. It's like there was nothing there.
Right.
It ended at the construction site. So not at the house. It ended at the construction site, is what Seth Rogers is saying. Who lives over by the construction site? I don't know. But who lives over there? And I'm trying to find the retention pond. I remember seeing a picture of like an aerial. I have like 3 aerials and I'm still not finding it. I want to know where the retention pond is in correlation to his house. I know they drained it and everything. I'm just curious. And because I'm curious to see where the retention pond is in correlation to where like the construction site is, This is giving me like another missing persons case. It reminded me of his case.
And that's a little odd, right?
Leads me to believe that, well, if it ends, normally the scent ends when you stop traveling on foot. From my understanding, that would mean that he got into a car.
No.
Okay.
Wait, what did he just know? That means that it was like a little, like it was like maybe over a mile. Like, I mean, somewhere where you probably wouldn't walk, you'd probably drive to. He's 15 though.
Hey, let's follow up on that, Dr. Janie Lacey. If he ends up in a car, to me that means he would have been lured out of that house in the middle of the night. What are your thoughts about the prospects of that? Someone like Sebastian, right? He has some special needs. He's a child with autism, being lured by someone, perhaps someone from online, and
put a 1 in the chat. And no shame here. I'm just curious. To know how many of you guys ever tried to run away as a teenager. I'm just curious. I don't know if Sebastian did that. I'm just curious. Put a 1 in the chat if you ever tried to run away as a teenager. I did. I ran the heck away. All right. I got like two hours away. Finally called somebody like 6 hours later. It was a long time though for a 15, 16-year-old girl. I think it was 14 or 15. I didn't have my license yet. But I know a lot of people that have tried to run away. Just wondering, because with the internet now, like think about what we did. We found out what our friends at school, we would talk about it on the phone, go around the corner. If you had a corded phone, you had to like stretch that thing thin so you could tell secrets. If not, your mom and dad could just get on the other phone and listen in. That's what my dad used to do that all the time. So they were always tricking me. But think about it nowadays with like the internet. How much easier it would have been to get you to run away as a kid. Me, I probably would have ran like the wind. If someone had told me, hey, I'll get you out of going to school, don't ask me another question. Like seriously, I was the worst at getting up. A lot of people ran away then.
Not telling his mother, not telling his father, and being able to walk out of that.
Some of y'all was just like, no, I had it way too good at home. I wasn't leaving there. But I mean, I had the best life, and I just was like, I'm running away. And it was because my girlfriend was running away, and I wanted to run away too because I didn't want her to go by herself. That wasn't a good idea.
House. What do you think it would take to lure Sebastian out of that home?
Well, we would want to consider his normal patterns of behavior, including who he had normal conversations with. Was he playing online on games and speaking with people he became familiar with? So we would want to look at that familiar patterns for him. And if potentially, as we know, a lot of teenagers do play games online and have online friends. So we would want to investigate and look at who was he regularly talking to or who he encountered, because based off of that information, if he potentially was lured and he got into a vehicle, we would probably want to make some assumptions that there probably was some familiarity, and unless there's some evidence of struggle, which it doesn't sound like there is. So I would be looking at his attachments or his familiar patterns when it comes to people he was commonly communicating with, playing games with, or just potentially who he would consider friends. And a lot of teens consider people they meet online as friends. So that would be a path that we would want to follow.
I want to take a listen to what his dad told me on a previous program about Sebastian just walking out of the house.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. They definitely cut that interview short right there. They definitely did. Because if they had the father of the missing child, right, and they had an opportunity to interview him, surely they would keep Seth Rogers on compared to Chris Dunna and this lady. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he's going back to B-roll, like old roles that he has, like of old film that we've already seen. Yeah, he definitely kicked him off the stage. How's that feel, Tony? How's that feel to be kicked off national television? Gotta go, bye.
It doesn't seem like
Don't call me. I won't call you.
my son at all. He would never leave my house in the middle of the night barefoot. And if he did, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. We've left in the middle of the night. There's been times that we've gone fishing in the middle of the night. We plan that sort of stuff. But him walking out the door in the middle of the night, no. It's not something he would do. It's something he's never done on me.
Chris, for him to walk out in the middle of the night, I think it would take him to be lured by someone. And if that's the
does Sebastian look like the type of kid that would want to wake up? I don't know. I don't know Sebastian, but just based off what I do know, and like with him having autism and stuff in general too, like, do you think that he would want to go outside at night? Like, and go touch raw fish or, dead fish to put on your lure to fish? I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it.
The case, there would seemingly be some digital trail and perhaps a physical trail of that.
Like, I got a 10-year-old nephew, and you can tell by looking at that boy, he will bait a hook for you all day long. But Sebastian, and I'm not saying nothing about looks, but I'm just saying Sebastian and his pictures and the way he presents himself and he's with his teachers and stuff, he looks more like he would be like a reader, like a bookworm in a way or something. I don't know. Worm. Get it?
Yeah, absolutely, Vinny, and you're 1,000% correct. And that digital footprint by this point, we're almost 6 months into this, and let's also take into consideration we have a child on the spectrum scale. He's on medication. So, if he's lured out of that house, then the suspect is taking a risk. Number one, within a very short period of time, if the victim starts to have withdrawals or anything on that medication, that's a huge problem to manage if you've just kidnapped this child. The second piece of this, to that digital footprint question, is if the authorities have looked at that digital footprint and said, okay, it just doesn't exist, then you have to go back to the house and you have to start looking at all of what we call the victimology of each and every individual that is in that home or had access to that home, and then start dissecting this case from there.
All right, our guests are staying with us. When we come back, have to ask another question, and this is a tough one. Will Sebastian ever be found?
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
One of the most successful true crime TV shows ever.
This is crazy.
Coming up next on Court TV.
48 hours.
Join Court TV's Vinnie Politan with the latest and 10 Investigates. Weeknights, 9/8 Central. Only on Court TV.
Commercial.
I'm not part of the investigation, and they don't have to let me know anything. Which,
remember those words? Night, you were just yelling. You were just saying something a little bit ago. So
they don't let me know anything. I'm in law enforcement myself, so I've got to trust the procedure. I got to trust that if everything is followed by the procedure and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, that there will be a positive outcome and my son will be found. I don't understand. They haven't come up with anything. Why they're not asking for higher powers to help.
A level of frustration. I think you heard it there from Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers. Communication with law enforcement, but law enforcement in this case, where are they in the investigation? What evidence is there? I want to go back and take a listen to one of the original press conferences in this case right after Sebastian went missing. And at these press conferences, a lot of times you'll hear different things. Sometimes they'll show you a photo of a car that they're looking for or something else. Listen closely to what they did say.
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But we are keeping options open. We don't know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now. So we are pursuing any and all avenues.
No evidence of foul play. Like, you could end the sentence, I think, a little quicker. Like, no evidence is what they're saying. A 15-year-old boy disappears. No evidence. Brings me to my final question. This is a tough one. Will Sebastian ever be found? If you've got no evidence, how do you find him? Let me bring back in my guests. Still with us, Dr. Janie Lacey and Chris McDonough. Dr. Janie Lacey, I'm going to start with you first, which is the toll that this takes on a family, on a father, when you're not getting communication from the people who are in charge of finding your missing son, and you hear the words, no evidence. How much more difficult does that make all of this?
Well, there's no doubt that Dad has lots of frustration. There's probably a lot of unanswered questions, and just the unknown factor can continue to stress out someone's body, his body, where he's probably up at night, ruminating, constantly thinking back his last conversations and just replaying everything, the anxiety, right, the fear. But what I also heard in his interview with you is his hope and him staying focused and him not giving up and him continuing to use his own resources and hiring a private investigator, those types of things. As long as he's staying focused on his hope and knowing that his son is out there, that alone is going to keep his drive there. But we know that the support that he needs, the resources that he needs, and to continue to keep this story and his son front and center can provide some hope and some relief as far as that he's not alone in this this journey to find his precious Sebastian.
Chris McDonough, you have so much experience in this area. Give us the honest answer right now on where you are based upon what we know and what we've heard in this case. Will Sebastian ever be found?
You know, Vinny, I have hope like you and everyone else that's a possibility. Statistically, 6 months into this, unless he did walk out that door on his own accord, that possibility, gets lower and lower. One of the things I would love to see the investigation do is take that shift in relationship to father, the biological father, Seth. If he's at work, they have him on video, if his truck's on video, et cetera, and they can verify and know that's a possibility, then tell the public. Okay? You have to tell the public what your steps are so that if you think of a gigantic puzzle of, let's say, the Statue of Liberty, and you're missing 5 or 6 pieces, the public will fill in that extra piece, okay? Because right now, the public doesn't know. When they hear we have no evidence, the public wants to help. And that's who the investigation needs to focus on. Because again, if we go to just the fact this child needs medication, well, who's managing that medication on board? There's one other huge piece of evidence potentially why they may be keeping him in the circle. In the back neighborhood behind the house, there is, my understanding, a video of potentially a vehicle back there. And there may be, some connection to the house, to that vehicle. I don't know whose vehicle that is, but maybe the authorities are thinking, hey, did the father hire somebody, et cetera, to get the kid out of here because it's a custody problem? That's pure speculation at this point on my behalf. However, that would
Chris McDonough. I thought you were talking about Chris and Katie that last time we heard. Look at him. Look at Vinny's. Got Vinny's eyes rolling.
Him in the circle and keep that minimal flow of information away from him if that was a possibility.
Now, at one point in the search for Sebastian, a volunteer group recovered glasses many believed to be his. That wasn't until law enforcement released a statement refuting that hopeful notion. And let me read it for you. Important announcement. Attention, everyone. We want to clarify that the eyeglasses recently found are not related to Sebastian Rogers. The search operation plan for today has been in the works for several days. We appreciate your cooperation and understanding, because that was a big part of this case and a big part of when you see Sebastian, you see the glasses, and glasses were found. And it raised a lot of hopes at the time, but law enforcement did in fact go public with it. Dr. Janie Lacey, if Sebastian is out there somewhere, we only have about 30 seconds here, but what do you think is going through his mind if he's being held somewhere?
Especially if he's not having his resources as medication, there's probably confusion, right? There's probably a deterioration in his physical symptoms because of the stress level. So there's probably just a lot of confusion if he is out there and he's being held and not knowing what's going on and not familiar with his surroundings or the people who is there. He'd be scared, he'll be fearful. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Janie Lacey and Chris McDonough, I want to thank you both for joining the investigation tonight. Your insight is really important, and your time is valuable, so we appreciate it. Okay, folks, no leads,
not
no
a
evidence, no answers.
0.
That is just not acceptable. 15-year-old boys don't just disappear. They don't just vanish. Something happened. Either something happened to him in the house, before he got to the house, or someone lured him out of that house. Someone knows something.
Absolutely.
And his family, and of course, Sebastian, deserve an answer and deserve justice. I'm
Vinnie Politan. I like that he's doing these little different videos. Like he's got his own YouTube he's doing now, and then he's got the Court TV Investigates, because we're going to go over another one tomorrow. The Idaho 4, Kaylee Gonzalez's parents came out and they did an interview. That's why I did another live this morning, because I'm going to try to like double up the lives for a couple of days. So I forgot I had both channels going tonight. So if you're on the Unfiltered channel and you want to join us over on my main channel, it's Titanium Built, and I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the Unfiltered chat, and then I'll put the link for my other channel in this chat, so you guys can switch if you want. But my other channel will have a little bit more of like unfiltered content. What that is, we don't know yet. But we're getting there. We're going to figure it out. So there's for that one. And then let me put this one in here. Thank you guys all for being here tonight. Hopefully you guys have a great Thursday. We're almost done with the work week. YouTube.com. I hope I didn't spell that wrong. Let's see. And so so my time frame, so during the day, I'm not real sure when I'll do that one. It'll probably be afternoon, anywhere from like 12 to 2, something like that. And then the night stream, of course, will be like 9:35, 9:15, 9:35. I may actually come on like at 9:15. I might come on a little bit early, because I was kind of ready this tonight. I was just like, hanging. I believe so too. Cats don't bark. She's been through a lot. Insanely busy for you. Oh yeah, because it's the end of summer. End of summer, kids go back to school probably like 12 to 2, something like I'll probably like schedule it up here like at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or 2 o'clock. I'm not sure about the morning one. I'm not sure what time I'll do the afternoon one, but I should do one. I don't think I have anything planned. Nope. Other than getting my new fridge. Thank you guys so much for all the donations tonight. That was so nice. I'm gonna get me a new little mini fridge. It's gonna be cute. I could put it in like the middle right here. I move my desk over a little bit. That door's okay. I'm excited. And we got a bunch of new members and everything tonight. September 3rd. I think schools are starting. I think they're beginning to start back right now, because I've been hearing the buses in the morning. Renee, thank you for the 99 super sticker. That's so sweet. Thank you. That'll go in the fund. You guys went above and beyond for me tonight. Thank you guys so much. I mean, really, really, really. I think this is the most spoiled I've been on this channel, and you guys just spoil me by being here. I get excited just when the chat's full and you guys come in and hang out with me. It's always a good feeling, especially when you go from having 0 people in your chat to having actual people in here waiting for you to come in. It's like, wow, that's a nice feeling to have, because there was many of times I sat right here on this floor before I had an actual, like a channel, really. I mean, I had a channel, but it wasn't even like true crime yet. And I would sit here and do like little videos, and I knew that I was coming on for nobody, because no one even knew. I didn't even have a channel name. So now that we got that all out of the way, now we all are here. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels. We do talk true crime daily here. That's what we do. That's something that you're into. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell icon. We are covering every case that's right now. I feel like we're covering them all. And if we're not, email me and let me know, and maybe we can take requests. Yeah, of course. Dorothy, or which one are you in? Are you in this one? I'll put them both in. Oh, there's the one. Oh, actually, that's not it. That's TikTok. Okay, I'm gonna put them both in here. That way that they're both in here for you guys. I should have these like where I could copy and paste them. So there's the first channel. Well, that's the second actually, but you know what I mean. And then on my, after we get caught up with our cases, I'm going to start putting more content over on the second channel, the Unfiltered with Tanya channel. I want to do some just fun stuff over there, you know, just goofy things where we could just go, laugh, chill, hide out, you know. And look at that perfect timing. We've got one scratching back there. We've got one, oh, the other one's sleeping. Very cute. Well, thank you guys so much for everything tonight. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for everything every night. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good evening, and I'll see you on the live tomorrow. Bye, guys.